Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And welcome. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The world continues to spin out of control, but you knew that. So we'll just share the details.
The highlights.
This morning. The highlights, yeah. Or are they low lights?
Yes.
We'll share all the lights with you and see if we can get through it together and just make the apocalypse fun. Because if you're going to go down, you might as well go down having a good time, right?
I think that's very well said.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think so. So great to have you with us. Looks like St. Fauci of DCC is fine now with just pretty much blaming Trump for everything. People have been trying to get him to do that for a long time. And when he was part of the Trump administration, he was a little hesitant. I mean, he did it anyway, but he did it in a little bit more subtle way. Now he's just flat out, yeah, you're right. I mean, 500,000 deaths, that's on Trump in part. Here's what he just said as he's, they're pushing and prodding and to be fair, they're trying to drag this out of him, but he's accommodating now.
You've got to do it together in a uniform way and not have any kind of political ideology divisiveness getting in the way of what we're trying to do.
Right.
Now, that's not the only thing that really was a problem, but that's certainly in my mind, having lived through it, was something that I found really to be unfortunately damaging.
Right.
When you go back, when we replay now exactly a year ago, President Trump saying we have it very much under control, we've had no deaths. The next day he said it's very well under control in our country. A few days later he said everything's under control. I mean, we're very, very cool. We've done it very well. Everything's really under control. Do you think that his denial and lack of facts contributed to this level of loss?
Well, I think I'm uncomfortable going back and directly criticizing, but it's really
but I'm going to do it anyway.
Allison, that when you're trying to signal the country to really buckle down and address the kinds of mitigation strategies that we put forth, the wearing of masks, the physical distancing, the avoiding congregate settings, the kinds of things that I and many of the other public health people who were there trying to get the country to appreciate the things that we were trying to do all throughout the entire outbreak. I mean, the thing that I remember very clearly is when we were trying to open up the country, open up the economy, and to do it carefully with the gateway, the phase 1, the phase 2, the phase 3. I was hoping that we would see a unified approach towards all doing that together. And when signals come saying this isn't so bad, we're in pretty good shape, when we're saying we're not, we being the health people, that was not helpful, because the people who wanted to deny that this is something that was serious, when you get a signal from above that it might not be, then you don't do the kinds of things you need to do. I mean, I still have flashing in my mind those scenes of when we were trying to tell people to really be careful and avoid congregate settings, and used to see on television at night people crowded at bars, inside, no masks. I mean, that was just asking for trouble.
Yeah, doing big protests in the streets together, thousands and thousands of people jammed in together. Remember those? Yeah, he didn't mention that part. I love it. So it's in large part, it is Trump's fault. We were trying our best to tell people just how critical this situation was when we said
we don't have to worry about this one, right?
Well, obviously you need to take it seriously
and
do the kinds of things that the CDC and the Department of Homeland Security are doing. But this is not a major threat for the people in the United States, and this is not something that the citizens of the United States right now should be worried about.
That's interesting. And
right now, at this moment, there is no need to change anything that you're doing on a day-by-day basis.
I see. And Okay, so he had no part in it. He was always, where he is now.
Yeah.
Always.
And when he went out in public, we know he was very stringent in following the guidelines and wearing the mask and everything. Like, for example, let's just say maybe he goes to a Washington Nationals game. He wants everybody to know he's a big Washington Nationals fan, right? And then he shows up there and he's gonna make an example. Look, everybody, this is how you are to be in public. And he's sitting there next to his friend and his wife, and he's got the full mask on, right? Just completely covered up his face. No, absolutely not. He's sitting there laughing and joking. He's got his phone up. His mask is completely off. But yet, he's the guy we need to look to for the example. Look at him there. Look at him. Well, it's when I was eating and drinking. Shut up. Your hands are literally folded. And then the other shot, you're holding your phone, you're laughing, you're exhaling.
And his wife doesn't have hers on either.
Yeah, and that one I see.
So, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
But you should take these guidelines seriously.
Right, and he always did. I mean, he always did, as we see there. And so this is all Trump's fault. The blaming of Trump, this is just the beginning. They're going to continue to do this with everything, but especially COVID. Especially with COVID. And it won't stop. It will not stop. There's a USA Today article suggesting from one of their columnists that we bury the 500,000 dead people from COVID-19 at Mar-a-Lago. Okay. All right. That's just genius. Yeah. So we're going to dig them all up and transport them to Mar-a-Lago and then bury them there in Donald Trump's yard. Okay.
Well, you probably find a par 5, right? I mean, there's a lot of space between the tee box and the green.
Right, yeah.
That's probably where you're going to get most of them.
Yeah. So that's how we can honor more than the 500,000 Americans who lost their lives while marking President Trump's shameless failure to preserve, protect, and defend. Okay. This small measure of justice, he writes, would have an obvious historical precedent. Arlington, the former home of Robert E. Lee, that is now Arlington National Cemetery, became a final resting place for Union soldiers in spring 1864 after 82,000 soldiers died in 1 month of fighting. Who could argue this wasn't just a punishment? Lee had abandoned his post in the U.S. Army to lead the army of what Frederick Douglass called the Slaveholders' Rebellion. Lee's treachery was obvious. Trump's crimes against his country, however, are far more devious and continue as he remains dedicated to undermining our democracy. Yeah, you don't have to undermine something that isn't there. We're not a democracy, so he's not undermining it. The ex-president tried to refuse to give up his power even after he was defeated in a fair election, and you cannot dissect the ex-president's incitement against Congress, his vice president, and our constitutional order from his monstrous approach to the pandemic. Man, do these people hate Trump. I don't even understand where that seething hatred comes from. They loved him before his presidency. They loved him.
They are.
Even Scarborough, the Morning Cup of Postum people, were all over him. Remember how they fawned all over him during the campaign?
They were prepping him during commercial breaks.
They loved him.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's the magic R, man. The magic R after your name.
Yeah.
It brings forth the hate from the left. But I think Democrats need and probably want a Republican president every now and then. At least they could have somebody to blame. The last administration, Obama did it with Bush.
Yep.
And now they're doing it with Trump.
Yep.
So they need that because they don't know how to govern. They know how to blame.
And that's what they're doing. And then they've unveiled their almost $2 trillion economic stimulus package with all the pork in it. We just heard from Kevin McCarthy. Here's what Kevin McCarthy says about this new COVID bill. Listen to this.
This bill is too expensive and too expansive. You've listed a lot of things in there. And think about this. This is supposed to be a COVID bill. Only 9% of it goes to COVID. What
9%.
they are doing is telling you the swamp is back. Everything you have warned your viewers about before the election is coming true in this bill.
Yeah, so the COVID relief, 9% of it goes to COVID relief.
And a lot of that, I think 2/3 of it doesn't even get deposited this year. It's in 2022 and 2023.
My gosh.
So we got 9% of the COVID bill goes to COVID related. And this, they're slipping in the $15 minimum wage too.
Yes. Yeah, the $15 minimum wage. They've got animal studies. The bill allocates $300 million of taxpayer money for the Agricultural Department to conduct monitoring and surveillance of susceptible animals for incidents of SARS-CoV-2.
Okay. As
guided by the World Health Organization for animal health. Okay, that's important. $300 million for animals. Okay, you know they're animals, right? That's kind of contained in the whole animal thing. So why are we allocating $300 million for animals?
If you remember one fact from this bill to discuss at the water cooler with your brain-dead coworkers today, just tell them, why out of $2 trillion is only 9% going to fight COVID if this is a COVID bill?
Yeah.
Period. The end. Yeah. And then you've got to extrapolate that out and say, what else are they doing to us in this society that has nothing to do with COVID? It's control. It's the mask. It's a lockdown. That's all this is. It's control. Oh, this bill is a vessel for big government, period.
They're also addressing farm loans.
Okay, good.
All right. Yeah. Bill states the Agriculture Department shall provide a payment in an amount equal to 120% of the outstanding indebtedness of each socially disadvantaged farmer or rancher as of January 2021.
Code.
To pay off the loan directly or to the socially disadvantaged farmer or rancher. Okay.
What is the federal definition of
interesting? Socially disadvantaged. That's an interesting term. Student outreach, student loan outreach. The bill allocates another $91 million for the Department of Education to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus domestically or internationally, including direct outreach to students and borrowers about financial aid, economic impact payments, means-tested benefits, and tax benefits for which they might be eligible. There's fine arts. You don't want to forget about fine arts and museums. Fine arts and museums has to be in every bill. Doesn't matter what the bill is for. We have to include the fine arts in it. The bill allocates $135 million to the National Endowment for the Arts and another $135 million to the National Endowment of the Humanities. Okay.
Is the Kennedy Center specifically listed?
I'm sure
you can't have a federal spending bill without the Kennedy Center mentioned.
They do mention another allocation of $200 million more to the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I love them.
Sure you do.
How long have I advocated for the Institute of Museum and Library Services?
If you guys could hear him off the air.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, my gosh. I'm over here doing country twang, and he's over there during the commercial breaks.
Institute of Museum and Library Services.
Never ends.
Yeah. Native American languages, $10 million for the preservation and maintenance of Native American languages, which is important.
By the way, Pat, I did actually find...
Socially disadvantaged?
I'm surprised how easy this was to find on the Small Business Administration website. Here we go. If you are any of the following, you are deemed socially disadvantaged by your federal government. You are a Black American, a Hispanic American, a Native American, an Asian Pacific American, or a subcontinent Asian American.
Then you're automatically disadvantaged?
Then you are socially disadvantaged. That's the definition.
Okay.
And then it goes on from there. Oh, my gosh. We've got definitions for economically disadvantaged. They'll find a way, in other words, to get the money into the hands of everyone but you.
And they're doing that. The bill provides $1 billion to strengthen vaccine confidence in the United States. Okay. So
PSA campaign.
That's great.
How much was that?
$1 billion.
Do you think the PSAs you hear on overnight AM radio are worth $1 billion?
No.
Okay.
Family planning, which could include abortion, another $50 million for that. Then we're talking global health. The director of for the CDC to combat SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19, and other emerging infectious diseases and threats globally, including efforts related to global health security, global disease detection and response, global health protection, global immunization, and global coordination on public health. $750 million for the global effort.
I almost said, after I read Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, Subcontinent Asian Americans, at least they're Americans that are getting the money. Nope.
I mean, some of them are, but we also have a really serious focus on global distribution of this wealth. Health surveillance, another $500 million to support public health data surveillance and analytics infrastructure modernization initiatives at the CDC. The airline industry, which was bailed out in the first stimulus last spring, gets another, a little taste is all they're getting this time. $15 billion in this bill.
Okay, so the next time that a stewardess says, "Sir, you're only eating one peanut every 10 minutes, say, "I just paid you $15 billion. Keep walking down the aisle."
You have a job because of my taxpayer dollars, so.
Literally, you can get on board and say, "I pay your salary."
It's great.
Because it's accurate.
All right, let me tell you about Texas Superfood. You know the top two things people say they notice when they start using Texas Superfood? They notice they have more energy and they get better sleep. And, of course, those things are connected. Texas Superfood gives you the power of nutritionally dense fruits and vegetables. It's the power of enzymes and probiotics in action. You've heard about enzymes, probiotics, all of that. I don't know what they are either, but I know they're important.
Yeah.
Texas Superfood is organic, vine-ripened, antioxidant-rich, raw natural fruits and vegetables that makes maintaining proper nutrition incredibly easy. They use only the finest quality ingredients, all-natural product. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. And if you don't get a lot of vegetables, like I don't, then this is definitely the way to go for you to be healthier. All the fruits and vegetables used are grown organically from locally sourced farms, and it's the highest quality nutritional supplement available on the market. Just go to TexasSuperfood.com and check them out today. That's TexasSuperfood.com.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
But at least, since Democrats are in office, we know they care about the little guy, right? They care about small businesses. They care about businesses being able to continue to thrive. So they're going to be taking care of those. Ro Khanna was talking about some of those small businesses and just how important they are on, I believe this is MSNBC the other day.
Well, of course, large businesses like Amazon and McDonald's, for example, can and perhaps should pay more. But I'm wondering, what is your plan for smaller businesses? How does this, in your view, affect mom and pop businesses who are just struggling to keep their doors open, keep workers on the payroll right now?
Yeah, that $15 minimum wage.
Well, they shouldn't be doing it by paying people low wages. We don't want low-wage businesses. I think most successful small businesses can pay a fair wage.
If you look at we don't want low-wage businesses.
Increased with worker productivity until 1968, and that relationship was severed. If workers were actually getting paid for the value they were creating, it would be up to $23. So I love small businesses. I'm all for it. But I don't want small businesses that are underpaying employees. It's fair for people to be making what they're producing. And I think $15 is very reasonable in this country.
Oh, well, if you think that, then okay. Then we'll definitely do it then. I mean, if you think it's completely fair. All right. If you think they can afford it, then, well, let's just get that done. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
I want Congress, I want their salary to be $15 an hour, tops.
Yeah.
I wonder what they actually...
Jeez.
How do you break that down? I mean, it's tough. They have a weird schedule.
Yeah.
But $174,000...
That's not $15 an hour.
Yeah, if we're talking about what you're worth, Congressman, you're quite overpaid, sir.
The small businesses are not in business to keep adult families operating. That's not what they do. The minimum wage is for people who are just entering the job market. This isn't for, full-grown adults who have a family and this has to be their living wage for the rest of their lives. That's not what minimum wage is all about. It's a starting place for young people. That's what it is. That's really what it is. And $15 an hour is excessive when you're talking about a starting wage for young people.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I think we were talking about in the context of student loans and how it just, this instant gratification society,
Right.
and I don't want responsibility. I don't want to have to work to succeed. It played out yesterday with the kid whining about the student loan. Here it is. It's reflected everywhere. Here it is with the minimum wage.
I mean, a lot of these kids are lucky to have a job at all. Yeah. And they don't have any experience. That's where the minimum comes from, because you don't have to have skills. You haven't had a lot of schooling, and you're just entering the workforce.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's not meant to support a family of 6 in New York City. That's not what minimum wage is about.
Well, that's easy for you to say, you and your white privilege.
Right. I know.
Anyhow, for what it's worth,
so frustrating.
It is frustrating. I took the salary of a congressman, divided it by 52 weeks, 40 hours a week. I know it's a rough thing. He's making $83 an hour for his job.
Okay.
Ro Khan.
Tad overpaid.
Khan. What's his name?
Ro Khanna.
Ro Khanna. That's kind of a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll give him that.
It is a cool name.
Yo, I'm Ro Khanna.
He's a dumbass.
He's totally a dumbass.
But it is a cool name.
Yeah. Ro.
I mean, he doesn't want businesses like that. So, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Elitist. All right. So it's just this whole minimum wage argument is so asinine. If $15 is good, why isn't $100 better? $100 an hour. Let's just pay them. They can afford it. And I don't want any of these businesses who can't afford it. They shouldn't be in business if they can't afford it. If they can't pay me $100 an hour, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Plus tips, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Plus
so $100 plus tips.
Yeah, $100 is the basement.
I was going to say, that's your starting line.
Yeah.
Negotiating for the barista job.
That's the foundational salary right there for, say, a 7-Eleven shelf stocker.
Sure.
Or you're at the cash register, either one.
And plus, there's a lot of steps to making an espresso.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
It's not a cold brew.
Takes some serious skill there.
So
baristas have to make $100 an hour. The 7-Eleven store clerks, $100 an hour.
Plus tips.
I
mean, let's make sure.
Mm-hmm. If you're bussing tables, that's $100 an hour.
Thank you. Plus tips.
Right. I mean, it's a job you should be able to retire in. And
you know what? That's what the argument should be.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you insulting Americans by saying they should only make $15 an hour?
Right.
Why aren't you fighting for your salary for everyone? $174,000 a year.
That's the bare minimum.
So that we can be on the same level as you, Congressman.
Yeah, they're supposedly our employees. Man, they don't act like it, do they?
Oh, no.
Jeez. That went out the window a long time ago. Which, again, leads us right back to term limits and making them do their job from their own district.
Yeah.
All those things.
Why is it that everybody is expected to work from home these days except for our representatives?
Yeah, we have to continue to pay them to go to D.C. all the time.
Right, they do all their... so many of them do their committee meetings from home on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to stay there. You are there now. Stay there. Unless it's Cancun. You can go to Cancun. You can work from Cancun or your district. We good with that?
And the thing about Cancun is, if we're going to go to Ted Cruz again, the guy, that wasn't something he's doing on the taxpayer dime.
Thank you!
If he did that, then you'd be complaining about it. Yeah, what are you doing taking vacations on our dime? He didn't.
No.
That was his own dime, his own time. They were in recess, he's cold, and he picks up the family and goes to Cancun because there's not much he could do here with no power. I mean, it's just, that thing is so ludicrous.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's the power of the R, man.
Yeah.
You got that R?
Yeah.
It's going to be used against you.
If Ro Khanna had gone to Cancun, nobody would care.
No.
They'd be perfectly fine. They'd be saying, well, what did you expect him to do? Why should he stay there and freeze like everybody else?
Well, that's just it. Nobody knows who Ro Khanna is.
Yes, it's true.
And so if they maybe if they heard his name over the intercom in the airport terminal, somebody might go, oh, that's kind of a cool name. And then that's it, because nobody would know who he was.
Right.
But beyond that, that's the problem, man. It's like if you're going to... Poor Ted Cruz. Seriously. The man can't even get on a freaking plane.
No.
And then he makes it worse. Just don't give them a quarter, man. Just keep moving.
And everybody's saying the same thing. You should just not have apologized. Yep. Stop apologizing. Stop. Doesn't matter how many times you apologize. They're not interested.
And I got news for you, Ted Cruz. The people on your side of the aisle, people like us, good for you. You can go to Cancun.
Yeah.
We're not the ones ripping you. So just keep plowing ahead. Don't pull over to apologize. Keep moving.
Those people aren't going to vote for you anyway.
Never.
You don't have to win them.
They don't care anything you say, nothing good that you do. They will never care. So don't even pause to give them a moment's notice.
Yesterday, we played you the Merrick Garland.
A couple days ago.
Was it a couple days ago?
Yeah, so he's doing his confirmation hearing, and he's asked a lot of questions about immigration, stuff like that.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of a difficult time explaining his position on whether or not illegal aliens are actually breaking the law. So one of our patheads, Ryan, sound guy Ryan, actually took away all of the BS that he was stumbling around. No fluff. And here's what it really boiled down to.
Judge Garland, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the law enforcement challenges at the border, which I know a number of other members have brought up with you. Just a fundamental question. Do you believe that illegal entry at America's border should remain a crime?
Well, I think with the
will you continue to prosecute unlawful border crossings?
Oh, here we go.
Well, this is again. We will.
Okay.
If there.
Let me ask you about the guidelines on asylum eligibility. Will you continue to keep in force the current guidelines on asylum eligibility, or do you anticipate changing them?
Again. Who has
All right.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Cruz.
Perfect. Look at that, huh? Got right to it.
Yeah, you got right to it. Yeah. That's about what it was anyway. I mean, you didn't have to take out too much to get to that. Nicely done.
Very good,
Ryan. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The Biden administration reportedly planning to dismantle ICE immigration enforcement.
Oh, no.
So what are they going to do? Well, they'll be making ice now.
They're going to actually make ice?
They're going to make ice.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, ice will now just make ice. They're going to freeze water is what they're going to do from now on. So stupid.
They're going to make ice.
So stupid.
Yeah, so I guess their only job now is to see if you're smuggling chinchilla into the country or...
right. Okay.
And that's it? They don't care about humans crossing illegally anymore?
Why would you? Why would you care about that? They're just bringing wonderful things to our country.
It's a madhouse, Pat.
It is.
It's a madhouse.
It's a madhouse. A madhouse.
Got some tweets here from Nita. Socially disadvantaged. We'll pay off your debt, but we will own you and your land, and you'll have no say when Mr. Gates grows his petri dish steak on your land. That's probably true. B. DeBodine tweets, I don't like to think of them as socially disadvantaged farmers. I'd rather think of them as agriculturally impaired. Okay. Jason F. Hidden inside the COVID bill, 15 weeks paid leave at $1,400 a week for federal employees.
What?
Nice. That's nice. Okay.
Okay.
Cirrus 1701. Anyone who has passed Economics 101 knows that labor is the most expensive part of owning a business. Right. Right. How many representatives in the U.S. Congress have passed Economics 101? We know of one of them.
Yes, we do. And that representative's name is not AOC, I'll tell you that.
No, it is not.
We were looking at reverting into a depression at that point. Everyone, the Fed chairman...
I disagree that we were going into a depression, but go ahead.
Do you have a degree in economics?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Highest honors.
Okay, so...
Yes!
One of the greatest moments in the history of television.
Truly.
Right there, Mo Brooks. 888-900-3393. All right, the Biden administration is reportedly planning to dismantle ICE's immigration enforcement. So rather than, the battle cry was eliminate ICE. Mm-hmm. And essentially that's what he's doing here. Yep. Because he's taking away, their main mandate is to protect the border. And so the proposal, which was outlined to top officials at the agency, would keep ICE's name and its investigation side, but effectively do away with its ability to enforce immigration law.
Well, then.
Okay.
That would be a fun job.
ICE would have little, if any, ability to do anything about people who choose to overstay a visa or illegally enter the United States at its land borders. So, there you go. Congratulations. That would effectively eliminate ICE, just like everybody was yelling and screaming about.
The radical left has accomplished so much in just a few weeks.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
And when you read a story like that, does anybody for 5 seconds think that Joe Biden is sitting around going, when are we going to get on that elimination of ICE? No. It's all of these radical leftists that are buried now deep within the administration and the bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. And they are passing this stuff, and they just put it in front of the old man. How does it sound when he signs up an executive order or something like that? Yeah. Where do I sign?
A little something like that.
Yeah. That's actually audio from the last time he, had a...
That is actual audio from the signing
ceremony. Where do I sign? I already signed. Sign again, old man.
Where are my pants?
Where are my pants?
All right. Yeah, well, that was kind of a tender moment when he asked that question. So it was kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Here's a reminder of what Nancy Pelosi thought of walls under Trump, and we'll see what she is thinking about walls today. But here's what she said when President Trump was the president.
A wall is an immorality.
Oh.
It's not who we are as a nation.
Okay.
And this is not a wall between Mexico and the United States that the president is creating here. It's a wall between reality and his constituents, his supporters. He does not want them to know what he's doing to Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security in his budget proposal.
What? Okay, whatever. But let's see what's going on at the Capitol today, where she does her work.
Yeah, because she said walls are an immorality.
An immorality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what do we got? What do we got going around the Capitol? What were you referring to?
The fencing that they put up.
Well, that's a fence, Pat.
Yeah, it is a fence. You're right.
Okay, so you're trying to make this into something else. She said walls are an immorality. She didn't say a fence was an immorality.
Okay.
Don't spin this.
So this is okay. This part is okay. She's fine with the fencing.
Yes.
Okay.
I see what you tried to pull there.
That's not an immorality. Right?
No, it is a fence.
Okay.
Not a wall.
Not a wall.
She was very clear.
Not a wall.
I mean, you know what this is, Pat? This is the mask mandate. This is everything.
Mm-hmm.
They can be protected.
Yes.
With a fence.
Yes.
Or a wall.
Yes.
We cannot.
That's right.
You, however, wear a mask. They don't have to. Fauci at the game. Dr. Birx at Thanksgiving. Well, my parents needed me.
Oh, what about Angela Merkel last week, where she shows up at the, I don't know, it looks like they're in Parliament or something, and she sits down, she's completely naked-faced, and then somebody leans over and reminds her, hey, you don't have a mask on. Oh, that's right. Let me go get one.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why she had a British accent there. That's kind of weird. She sounded like the Queen of England when they said that to her.
Look, it's Europe. They all suck. Who cares what they say and sound like? Yeah. But you know what she actually was saying was, oh, I didn't realize this was on the television.
Oh, your papers, please.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a camera here? Oh, my bad. I forgot my prop. But that's just it. But what my point was on Dr. Birx is like, well, please have sympathy for me because my parents needed me in November. Every American's parents need them, woman. Come on. The hypocrisy is maddening. And when are people going to just stop? Stop it. Stop playing the game.
Ugh. They're not going to. They're never going to, because it works, because the mainstream media allows them to get away with it. They don't care.
We've got to stop wearing masks.
We have to do a lot of things.
Stop letting our kids live inside bubbles at a high school in Washington State where the band gets together and they play their instruments. And look at this, Pat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's really safe.
If you're listening on the radio.
That's a good idea, to put everybody in a little plastic tent.
This is
ludicrous.
If you're listening,
that is ludicrous. Is this the one? Then the teacher said, "I finally feel like an educator again because we're able to come here and do this."
Is that the same one? I don't know.
I don't know. Absolutely.
Like when you
incredible.
Go to the soccer game, your little kid's soccer game, and you see the one or two parents sitting in the weatherproof little mini tent so they don't get rained on or whatever. That's what every kid in that classroom right now is standing in, playing their saxophone and instruments.
Yeah. And this is what they sound like when they play it.
Mad world.
This is actually the sound that's coming from the little plastic tent that they're in. So they're playing really well. I mean...
Okay, put them in the tent. Put them in the tent. Muffle this sound. Leave them in there. How can these kids...
I don't know.
We are raising mentally disturbed children because of this era.
Mm-hmm.
And they suck at playing, too. I mean, just listen to that.
What do you mean? I think that's pretty impressive. It's incredible how long that goes on. It's incredible.
This is what hell sounds like. If you are dying and you hear that sound,
you're in hell.
You better make peace with the Lord, quickly.
Okay. That's a good safety tip.
Honestly, if I'm at that recital and my kid is playing, I'm leaving and my kid's walking home. That's horrid.
Really bad. Let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. I have some great news about Patriot Mobile. They've been able to expand their coverage dramatically, and that makes it easier for even more Americans to dump the big-name carriers who charge way too much and then donate that money to leftist causes. That's why I'm proud to partner with Patriot Mobile, because they've never sent a penny to the left. They will never silence you. They're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And you can switch with confidence because they use the same network. So you're going to get the same coverage as everybody else. They all use the same 4 towers or whatever it is. And they just charge you a lot less. And they make switching easy. Keep your phone number if you want, or get a new one. You can get a new phone or keep your phone. Build your own bundle with multi-line discounts and save even more. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Pat or call their U.S.-based customer service team at 972-PATRIOT. 972-PATRIOT. And this month, get free Premier activation where they set up the phone for you, and you'll get a special gift thrown in, too, when you use the offer code PAT. patriotmobile.com/Pat.
Pat Gray.
The creator of The Simpsons, Matt Groening, is a tad irritated right now.
Good.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, the guy's not a conservative. We all know that. But he is speaking out against this whole stupid, you can't voice a black character if you're white thing. It's nonsense. And he's irritated. He spoke to the BBC about the recent decision to replace the white voice actor for a black character. He said, times changed, but I actually didn't have a problem with the way we were doing it. All of our actors played dozens of characters each. It was never designed to exclude anyone. Much of the controversy began when one of the show's characters, Apu, was criticized for being a negative portrayal of people from South Asia. And so Groening first defended that character, saying, we love Apu. We're proud of Apu. But the show decided to phase him out. So Apu is gone now. I don't know what happened to Apu.
Wait, so we kicked the minority out of Springfield?
Right.
What?
I guess he moved to New York or something. I don't know where Apu. Maybe he went to Delaware, where you literally can't walk into a 7-Eleven without an Indian accent.
Oh, my.
I'm not joking.
I'm glad the guy who said that just went and rode off into the sunset. We never heard from him again,
Yeah,
thankfully.
that's right.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India.
Right.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts.
Or a
unless
Dunkin'
you have
Donuts.
a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Hey, he's not joking.
He is not joking.
He wants you to know. No, I'm really a racist.
I'm a
not
racist.
joking here. So the latest character to get the PC police treatment was Dr. Hibbert, a black doctor voiced by fan favorite Harry Shearer, who is white.
No.
Yeah.
See now.
Yeah, see, so the show announced it's going to replace Shearer with a black voice actor. Thank goodness.
I can't, Pat.
Shearer criticized that decision, saying, I have a very simple belief about acting. This is great. The job of the actor is to play someone who they are not. So Shearer was irritated too, and so is Groening. And Groening echoed those sentiments, but also recognized there's no solution to please everyone. And if he doesn't make all the changes they want, they're going to drum him out of business.
One of your listeners made the point that a woman voices Bart Simpson's character.
Oh, that's right. Oh, what a great point that is.
I guess we're gonna have to replace that individual, aren't we? With a dude. Early Smith
that
or
is
something.
Incredible. Yeah. That's right.
So
that's okay. That's okay. You can have a woman voice a male.
Right.
But you can't have a white voice a black character.
But women don't play. You're not.
Okay.
You're not the top of the totem pole anymore. So
nowhere near.
If a homosexual man or a transgender wants to voice Bart Simpson, step aside. Okay. And isn't that this says so much about our society, Pat? This show began in the 80s, late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it 88 or 89?
89.
89.
It's come. It was designed to really push the boundaries. Remember? I mean, they did so much. They made fun of their own network on a regular basis.
Right.
They were politically incorrect on all fronts.
Yeah.
Everybody was a target.
Right.
In 30 years now, we have come so far that we are now going to ostracize this show. And it's gonna this incredible 3-decade-plus run is gonna come to an end because of political correctness. When that's what the show was designed to do in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Our society is falling apart, man.
It is. Yeah. Maybe the aliens will save us.
Okay. I'm sign me up. Whatever you got. Let's go.
American Airlines pilot apparently spotted a UFO. Here's cut number 14.
Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us that, I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object. It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast that went right over the top of us.
Why do you hate to say that?
Right?
I hate to say it, but it looked like a large cylindrical thing.
Wait a minute.
Why would he?
Wait, Rob found out what it is. It made a cameo in Star Trek 4.
It's the probe. Well, they keep showing the picture, and it looks like that every single time. Every time they show one of these sightings, that's what I think of, is the Star Trek 4 probe that came back to listen to the whales or whatever it was doing, trying to communicate with the whales. And so maybe that's what's happening right now. Are they trying to communicate with the whales? I don't know.
Is it northeast New Mexico is where he was flying?
Yeah, so there's not going to be a lot of whales in northeast New Mexico.
Says you. I don't know. That's Taos, New Mexico country. There's a lot of weird stuff in that town. Who knows what that was? I swear.
So you got American Airlines pilots. You've got fighter jet pilots. You've got so many people now who have seen these things, and they all say the same thing. It's a cylindrical shaped thing. It's doing things that, like, we're not capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's disappearing at speeds that we are not capable of achieving. So, I mean, something's going on.
Well, and it used to be dismissed. Disregard that witness. That was just two podunk rednecks in a field in Iowa, and oh, I've seen it. He come over here and it hovered over Bessie, and then she moved, and then they took her up, and you got, like you just said, you just went through the list.
Mm-hmm.
People that are respected in our society.
Yeah.
Airline pilots, fighter pilots.
And they have video of it.
And video now. Let's go. Come on, aliens.
I would love it if this if the
happen.
American Airlines pilot had shot a video of it. That would have been pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty easy to do with your phone, right? You can do that while you're flying a plane.
Okay, I've got a Pat poll we're going to have to post, okay? Right now, would you rather aliens be in charge of America or Joe Biden? Conservatives?
That's going to be easy.
Be able to vote at Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
All right.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Isn't it great to have Barack Obama back in the public? It's so great. He's doing this new podcast with Bruce Springsteen. And
you follow it, right?
Oh, you kidding me?
Like you get alerted whenever the new episode drops?
Bing! Yep, every time. Every time. Of course, it only dropped a few times. I think it just started. But still, every time. He called out the politics of white resistance and resentment as one of the reasons he didn't push for reparations while he was in office. The politics of white resistance. The politics of resentment. Yeah.
I never knew those were the lyrics.
Yeah.
I've been singing them wrong.
I mean, this guy, this miserable coward, has never owned up to a single thing in his life. Not one. It's Bush's fault. It's white people's fault. The sun was in my eyes. Whatever. We just have to understand that he's not responsible for anything. But here's the main thing. We all know reparations payments are just plain wrong. Just admit that. Can someone please, for the love of heaven, just admit it? Maybe just say, you know what? I don't support reparations. It doesn't make any sense to me. For people who didn't do what you're accusing them of doing, they didn't do it. And they should not have to pay for something they didn't do to people who it wasn't done to. It's wrong. It's unworkable. And it goes against eternal truth that we're not responsible for the sins of our fathers. And beyond that, for many of us in this country, our fathers weren't responsible either. They weren't even here. This reparations thing has gained such momentum now because we're in this crazy world. Everything's gone nuts. It's a madhouse.
It's a madhouse! A madhouse!
And so every time this has come up, and it's come up many times during my talk radio career in the last 20 years. How many times has reparations comes up every couple of years? And it's usually laughed off and dismissed out of hand. It's like, no, shut up. We're not. Okay, people who didn't commit the crime are not going to pay for the crime, and they're not going to pay it to people who weren't there and didn't have it done to them. We're not doing slave reparations. Who is paid? Who pays? Do only white Americans pay? Do only people who were here at the time, who had ancestors at the time, pay? I mean, the whole thing is asinine. And who receives, for that matter? If you didn't have ancestors in Africa, if they came from somewhere else, do you get the reparations? So the whole thing is completely unworkable. Everybody knows it. It doesn't make any sense at all. Slave reparations are called the Civil War. Okay, 650,000 Americans died to eliminate slavery. 650,000 Americans. And so every time up until the last year or so, this has been dismissed out of hand. And now here we are. They're really discussing it seriously. I mean, it just keeps coming up. And it's scary because I think it's going to happen now.
Oh, do you?
I do. I think there will be reparations.
Oh, my goodness.
In some way, shape, or form, we will have reparations.
Do you think that would lead to, God forbid, another violent response? You know, like I can't see taxpayers rolling over and saying,
"Yeah, I don't know." It's, I mean, that's it depends on how it's worked out. You know, it depends on how on what form the payment takes. I suppose. Is it going to be a cash payment? Is it going to be, or do they get advantages? I think we're already giving advantages to minorities.
We just read through the COVID bill, the COVID relief bill.
Yeah.
And if you are socially disadvantaged, that you qualify for this stuff. We're already. I mean, is that not a form of reparations for how evil we are toward minorities?
Seems like it to me.
Oh my goodness.
Seems like it.
And it's not gonna. You're not gonna get away with. Actually, does more harm than good if you just do community reinvestment or small business loans as this is your reparations. If people don't get a check in the mail directly to them or deposit it into their accounts, that after and then the government says, okay, we're done. We're not going to talk about reparations anymore. That's not going to go over well either.
And how much would you have to pay to just put this to bed forever? What is that? What is that dollar amount?
I don't know.
That makes this okay and equalizes everything, so we never have to hear about it again.
I don't know, and I don't care.
What is that number? Is it the number I keep hearing is $800,000?
Yeah, I don't negotiate with terrorists, Pat. So I don't care what the number is.
Yeah, well, there's going to be one.
But everybody wants to get money.
For free.
I know,
free money.
I know later we might get to the college kid who's whining about his student loan repayment. Well, hopefully that video will play today. But, I mean, like that's just it. Nobody's going to be okay with, oh, you gave back to the community. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's a swimming pool now in the hood, so I guess we're all set now. No.
No, that's not going to work.
That's not going to cut
No,
it.
that's going
to do more harm than good.
Yeah. So this is on day 1 or 2 of the Obama Springsteen podcast. It'll be interesting to see how many outrageous things come out of this with these two extreme left-wing idiots.
Do you want to see the
babbling every day?
Teaser that's supposed to get you really into it?
Yes.
All right, so let's see if this makes you want to listen. Here we go.
My father was silent most of the time. He was not communicative. I grew up thinking, my father was like ashamed of his family. That was my entire picture of masculinity. Did you have to deal with that?
So my father leaves when I'm 2, and I don't meet him until I'm 10 years old when he comes to visit for a month. I had no way to connect to the guy. He's a stranger who's suddenly in our house.
On the surface, Bruce and I don't have a lot in common. He's a white guy from a small town in Jersey. I'm a black guy of mixed race, born in Hawaii. He's a rock and roll icon. I'm
a douchebag.
Cool.
I was trying to remember the first time we actually met. Probably was in 2000.
Probably at a fundraiser
during the campaign.
2,000 a plate.
Was it in Michigan or Ohio?
I have no recall.
In our own ways, Bruce and I have been on parallel journeys.
Pause it for a second. Wait a minute. Bruce Springsteen has no memory of playing for the first black president in American history.
Racist!
Are you kidding me? Seriously? Are you going to make that claim? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't remember playing for you, running for the office of the presidency, and you won it. And I helped you get there as the first black man to hold that office. Yeah, you don't remember that, Bruce? Wow. You're drinking a little heavier than I thought. That's not good.
Hey, Bruce, while we got you, do you remember recording that hideous Christmas song? About Santa Claus coming to town. Because we need to talk about that while we've got you on a mic.
Yes. That should be the first topic on their podcast.
I love it. We're just two common guys, just two Americans, just sitting here talking about American stuff and whatnot. And no, you're two elitists who hate the country. That's what you are.
That's right. All right, let's see the rest of this.
Michigan or Ohio?
I don't know.
Drugs.
Oh, boy.
Ways, Bruce and I have been on parallel journeys.
Yeah.
Looking for a way to connect our own individual searches for meaning, truths, then community.
We're both douchebags.
Story of America.
And communists.
Over the course of a few days, all just a few miles from where he grew up, we talked.
It made sense if you're going to be a rock and roll star, you're going to play the guitar.
Guitars were cheap.
Don't do that.
I could actually work a job, which I did. And I saved up $18, bought a cheap guitar. Then I started to learn some Beatles style. I learned Twist and Shout.
Oh, we'll get flagged for this one.
Keep it down.
All right, how long is this? This is
pretty
torturous. Okay, we're gonna get flagged for this too. Kill it. Kill
Is this a one-time thing?
No, I think it's a show.
Because they're talking about it like it's they got together for a day in Jersey, and I don't know. I think I thought it was a series, at least once a week, maybe even every day.
Riveting.
Maybe not though.
Yeah, Mr. President. I remember buying my first guitar, but playing for the president, I don't recall that.
Yeah, amazing, right? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Well, we should play the first episode. At least part of it.
Oh, you want to have fun
and
with
do
that?
like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing with it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So like
Might be kind of fun.
So you want to play like? Let me just make sure I understand. You want to play like clips and just analyze it on the fly?
Yes.
Can we do this tomorrow when Jeffy's here?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Good. Okay. You scared me there. I thought we were having to run down the hall here and grab audio.
No,
that'll be fun.
Take a little too long. That should be fun.
And the name of the podcast again is Two Douches in a Studio? What is it?
Yes,
again?
it's two douches in it's two left-wing douches in a studio. So it's
that'll be fun.
I don't know what is the name of this stupid thing. I don't know. I don't even know. Okay, Renegades, born in the USA. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Renegades, born in the USA.
Let's stop right there. If you have to give yourself a nickname, you suck. We're renegades. We're mavericks. Stop it.
One of the subjects, of course, reparations, as we just mentioned. And Obama said they're justified since the wealth of this country, the power of this country, not exclusively, maybe not even the majority of it. Right, thank you. But a large portion of it was built on the backs of slaves. Wow.
There you go. You didn't build that.
Wow. He added, perfectly understandable, while working class white folks, middle class white folks who are having trouble paying the bills or dealing with student loans. It's always a thing, man, the student loans. Wouldn't be thrilled with the idea of a massive program that's designed to deal with the past, but isn't speaking for their future. He actually acknowledges there might be an issue there. We can't even get this country to provide decent schooling for inner city kids, he said. Man, does he hate this country. And what I saw during my presidency was the politics of white resistance and resentment. Wow. The talk of welfare queens and the talk of the undeserving poor and the backlash against affirmative action. All that made the prospect of actually proposing any kind of coherent, meaningful reparations program not only a non-starter, but potentially counterproductive. Yeah. Would there be resentment for people who didn't cause the problem, having to pay people who didn't live through the problem? Yeah, I think there'd be resentment of that. Yeah, I think so.
So he's saying there would be pushback.
Yeah, a little pushback. And I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I think there would be a little pushback.
From the guy who said that his mom was his grandma was such a racist that she would cross the road.
Well, she was a typical white person. Who, if, a black person came by and she saw the black person, she'd just run for cover. She'd scared out of her mind.
Has anyone ever done that? Like, do you even know anybody who's ever done that? I mean, I know and I'm going to ask her, because I know she's not a racist whatsoever. My 95-year-old grandmother who grew up in the deep South, poor country, whites and blacks, shoulder to shoulder. I'm going to ask her point blank, my Nana, have you ever yourself or anyone you know growing up in the deep South in the 1920s, 30s, seen a black person on the coming toward you and go, oh my gosh, a black person, and go to the other side of the road?
Well, of course, because you have that DNA. It's built into you. It's bred into you, I believe he said.
She is a
typical
white person who,
if
she sees somebody on the street that she doesn't know,
it's black.
There's a reaction that's been bred into.
Yeah, there's a reaction that's been bred into her.
Our experiences.
And then he realized, I can't say that's been bred into her. I soften it a little bit with our experiences.
Hold on a second. It's been bred into his grandmother? Into her DNA, effectively? Then did that racism not get into you, Barack?
Oh, well, you can listen to him and know.
Obviously.
Of course, the racism got into him.
I can't wait to listen to, what was it again? Two left-wing douches in a studio?
Two douchebag commies in his studio.
It's a working title, apparently.
Yeah,
it keeps
something like that.
Changing a little.
Yeah. All right, let me tell you about Built Bar. If you want to eat healthier, what a great way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Built Bar, healthier than your favorite protein bar, and they taste so much better. Well, your favorite protein bar, it tastes like what? Chalk? Cardboard?
Yeah.
Chemicals?
Yeah.
For sure,
That's
chemicals.
my pet peeve. Do you mind if I eat while you're doing a commercial?
Well, if I mind, it's too late, isn't it? Because you're doing it.
I'm
right
eating
now.
mint brownie. Yeah. Oh.
They're delicious, and they taste at least as good, if not better, than a candy bar. And they're 110 to 160 calories. They're really low sugar. And 16 to 20 grams of protein. They're fantastic. They come in all kinds of different flavors. You're going to love these. They're covered in 100% chocolate. Don't give up on your resolution to eat better this year. Built Bar is your answer. Go to BuiltBar.com. Use the promo code PAT20 to get 20% off your next order. Promo code PAT20 for 20% off at BuiltBar.com. Some tweets here from Crazier Times. Didn't Obama prevent school choice vouchers? Yeah, he did.
Right out of the gate. Yep.
Yeah. Please tell us whose fault it was to damage the education system in the inner cities. He's such a liar. Oh, big time. Big time lying sack. Proud Mr. Graybeard, would a one-time reparations payment of $800,000 eliminate all set-aside social programs for that socioeconomic group?
Okay, well, now I'm listening.
Yeah, if it did, you might save money over the long run.
Do we have a constitutional amendment that would prevent that being reinstated? Then I might be on board.
Tricia Sanders tweets, so will those who actually paid off their student loan debts get student loan reparations? Yeah, because it's really fair to white people. Yeah, that'll happen. I'm sure that's going to happen. Also, we got the college student. We tried to play this yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Had some technical glitch. But speaking of student debt relief, here's a kid complaining about his student debt, which he's only, they're talking about giving him $10,000 off the debt, right? And that's not enough for him.
So I woke up today and found out that Biden's student debt relief plan's kind of a sham, so let's talk about that.
All right, let's talk about this.
For those of you who don't know already, Joe Biden said he plans on forgiving $10,000 of all of our student debt, which isn't enough, but it's pretty cool, I guess. What I found out today, though, is he's really downplaying the fact that he's going to make that debt relief taxable income.
Ooh, welcome to the
Now,
club.
some of you might not be tax people, and that's fair, so let me explain.
Oh, please do.
What that essentially means is when we're filing our taxes, we're going to have to file that debt relief and then pay taxes on it. And depending on your tax bracket, that means you could be paying a good amount of money. And what that means is, save for a few exceptions, when Biden says he's forgiving $10,000 of our student debt, he's kind of line.
Oh.
And this might just be me, but I thought the point of debt relief is that we're no longer on the line for it. So having to pay a large amount of taxes after the fact seems redundant.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, just my thoughts. Anyway, have a good day.
What an entitled douchebag he is. Wow. Okay, it's your debt, my friend. It's your debt. Why should I pay it at all? Why should I pay $1 of your debt, let alone $10,000 worth of your debt?
I mean, that's pretty good, I guess. But then check this out, y'all. There's this thing called taxes. We're going to have to pay taxes on this income.
Yeah, let me explain it for those of you who are too stupid to understand what taxes are.
Yeah, well, welcome to your forced bondage with the federal government, kid.
Yeah.
Bend over.
Yeah.
It's going to be like this for the rest of your life.
Wait till he goes out into the real world and gets a real job and then is really paying taxes.
Yeah, and he's stressing about, well, depending on what tax bracket you're in, that's going to mean more coming out of it. Yeah. Did you want that $15 an hour now, or you want to stay down at the $7.25? Which do you want now? I mean, bro, come on.
Wow. Amazing. The entitlement. The entitlement that he just deserves his debt to be eliminated.
Yep. Purdue University must be so proud of that video and that young man. He's
look up the tuition at Purdue per year, and I bet it's fairly pricey at Purdue.
Okay.
Big Ten school.
Okay, so in-state tuition is about $10,000.
Oh, that's not bad, actually.
Out of state, $29,000. But who's clamoring to go to Purdue from out of state?
I don't know.
Who wants to be a Boilermaker?
I don't know.
And all you Purdue fans, don't tag me, please. I'm looking forward to this next football season. Huskers are gonna destroy you.
Are they now?
Like 10-9 be the final score. We have no offense left.
You really have confidence in that
Our entire
statement?
offense is transferred. The transfer portal has been a busy place for the Huskers this offseason.
All right. North Dakota now. The North Dakota House just passed a bill banning mandatory face masks.
Good.
So I guess they're trying to head off a federal mandate?
I think they're saying that nowhere in the state of North Dakota can you be mandating that.
That's great.
And I love that. Yeah.
State's lower chamber voted 50-44 to prohibit state and local governments, schools, and businesses from ordering mask mandates amid the coronavirus pandemic.
Even businesses. Game on,
So,
North Dakota.
It already passed the House. Now it goes to the Senate. So if it passes, I mean, Jeff Hoverson, the bill's sponsor, characterized the mask requirements as diabolical silliness.
Okay, I mean, that's not the phrase I would use, but I guess if you want your quote printed, you have to go that route.
The mask is a part of a larger apparatus of a movement of unelected, wealthy bureaucrats who are robbing our freedoms and perpetuating lies. Nice.
All right.
That'll be interesting to see if it passes and then is signed by the governor. And then you cannot force people to wear a mask in school or in your business. Wow.
Well, I threw out the idea on Twitter yesterday. I'm going to try to work on convincing you to move the show to South Dakota. Maybe North Dakota is an option as well, where we can breathe free. Would you be interested?
No.
I mean, you could do your show
No, I
from
would
anywhere,
not.
Pat. I'm just saying. Go to
That
these
is
free
true.
states, you know?
So Swankthink, Pathead Swankthink sent us this chart.
Yes.
Which states are the best as far as the COVID restrictions?
Oh, okay.
Stringency index by state. So at the bottom of the list, Hawaii is the most stringent state at number 51 because they're including, I guess, the District of Columbia or Puerto Rico or somebody. So they're at 51.
Okay.
New York is at 50. Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut are the most stringent. Okay. Texas ranks right in the middle at 30th.
That's shameful.
That's ridiculous. The top five for least stringent or the freest states right now.
What do we got?
Iowa, number 5. Number 4, Alabama. You might recognize those as mostly Republican states, as is North Dakota. And certainly Utah at number 2 and number 1, which is no surprise.
No surprise.
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Number 1 in the country.
I mean, and you talk about the Republican theme. Let's go down this top 10. Nebraska, Nevada, Idaho,
South Carolina,
Florida. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow. All of them. Republican states. You know what's really weird? Is this
country?
Yeah, well, that. But there's something specific in this country that's even worth analyzing a little bit, and that's the fact that people are denying that Helen Keller ever existed. I don't understand the Helen Keller isn't real thing. Where is that coming from? I don't. It's so weird.
Yeah, we played that video of that teacher, remember? And the kids were saying that. And so we were sitting around talking, and I don't know if it was Rob, somebody mentioned that, oh, yeah, that's a big thing on TikTok right now about Helen Keller not being a real person.
Not real.
What, so, okay. I don't know.
So why? Because she accomplished a lot of things, despite the fact that she was both deaf and blind.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why? Is that why they think she's not real? Because you just can't possibly do that.
Yeah,
There's no way she wrote books. I was reading this yesterday. There's no way she wrote a bunch of books when she couldn't see or hear. Okay. Well, I don't know. I've seen The Miracle Worker. I think it was possible because, I don't know, she did it. And it's not like this happened in the 1600s where we're not sure that she really existed. It's not like Robin Hood, where, okay, was there really a Robin Hood, or is that just a tale?
Not going to wear those tights. That definitely isn't real, yeah. But, yeah, so that poor teacher, remember that? He
Helen Keller is the Nazi guy. No!
Helen Keller's the Nazi guy.
What Nazi guy?
I don't know, he's like a terrorist.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, I'm going to write Helen Keller up here. Yeah.
Yeah,
right? No.
That's what I'm telling you.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Is Hitler the...
Who's Hitler?
Who is Hitler?
Helen Keller was the blind and deaf person who was fake.
Who's
she
fake?
didn't exist, but everyone believes she was deaf and blind.
What? She was fake?
She's the blind and deaf person who was fake.
Is that a bridge?
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor's a bridge.
Do you know what D-Day is?
Yeah.
Who?
D-Day.
A person? A rapper?
Are you being...
I mean, I know you're in a school and you're forced to wear the mask, but I can't imagine the look on his face underneath that mask. Like, what is happening? So, yeah, Helen Keller, the takeaway.
Fake. She's fake.
One of the many takeaways from that is that she is fake.
Or she's the Nazi guy.
Yeah, one of the two.
Whatever.
Well, I'd rather be fake than be known as the Nazi guy.
But there's a person on, is this on TikTok?
Yeah, so this is one of many.
She's really quite convinced that Helen Keller isn't real and is very passionate about it.
I just wanted to say Helen Keller's not real, and I don't care who you are, but she's not real. Who the like, she wrote books? No, she didn't. She's blind and deaf. Also, TikTok, you need to make a front flash.
Yeah, you need to make a front flash. I don't even, what does that mean?
You have to make a front flash.
What's a front flash?
What?
Is anybody hip in these two rooms that are responsible for broadcasting this program, these three rooms, does anybody know what a front flash is on social media? Oh, I feel old. Everybody else does too, apparently, right now in my headphone. So anyway.
Okay, there's no way because she was deaf and blind, she couldn't write books.
Okay. I mean, now if you tell them that she was a communist, then they might get on board.
Maybe.
But that's a different topic.
She was born in 1880. She lost her sight and hearing as a result of an illness at 19 months old, but was taught to communicate by Anne Sullivan. Have you not seen The Miracle Worker?
All right.
But since last May, this has been going on since May.
What? Boy, lockdowns did more harm than I thought.
Wow. According to one video, the conversation was initiated by people who began creating content questioning Keller's life for a laugh. To her, however, the theories being presented weren't funny. I've seen a lot of jokes on this app about Helen Keller being fake. My friends and I have been saying this for years. I'm genuinely not trying to be rude or offensive or anything, but at this point, how can you believe she wasn't faking it? Faking being deaf and blind for her entire life. Okay.
That'd be frustrating.
Wouldn't it?
To try to remember, oh, crap, that's right.
I like this. Blind. Helen Keller is not real. There is absolutely no way she was blind and deaf and wrote 12 books, learned 5 whole languages, fell out of a building and didn't die, went to Harvard, and had very, very neat handwriting.
Okay, actually, I'm starting to.
She doesn't exist. Well, when you put it that way,
Yeah, now I'm
starting
starting
to be right.
I think we're getting swayed here by this research. No, kids. The thing is some people can accomplish great things if they put their minds to it. Something that your generation is not capable of doing, apparently.
Yes.
So stop judging people and giants in the past by you. You're not the measuring stick here. Okay.
And she's not a giant I'm particularly fond of.
Thank you. That's
frankly.
the other thing. That's what's so funny about this. Like, I don't care. I mean, if they destroy her legacy, I mean, whatever.
I mean, she was a communist. Let's not forget. And I have never understood that part of Helen Keller's life.
If they were saying Thomas Jefferson isn't real, then I'd be pissed.
Yes.
But since you're saying Helen Keller isn't real, I'm like,
okay,
that's kind of funny. No, let's see where this goes.
So weird, though. Just really weird.
So weird.
Videos promoting the theory are being posted, still being posted, with the latest to gain traction with more than 600,000 likes. Shared in December by somebody named Keith. This was you. You did this?
No.
Okay, so it's not this Keith. I've had enough, Keith said. I've heard it my whole life. She's deaf, she's blind, she's amazing. No, guess what?
What?
She lied. She's a liar. Her and that monster, Ann Sullivan, pulled the wool over our eyes, and nobody's thought to question it.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I'm taking credit for that one. Yeah.
Perfect handwriting wasn't enough because we ate that up. So they decided she was going to be a profound author. 12 books. That's not even a realistic number for somebody who has all of their senses.
I mean, that is a good point, though.
Glenn's written, what, 85, 90 books at this point? I don't know, 1,000? One would have been amazing. I would have believed it if it was just one book. And they had to go even further than that. Writing was not enough for them. They didn't get enough thrill off of that. Who are they? So she apparently flew planes?
Wait, now, hold on.
In the sky? No, did she fly planes?
Wait a minute.
That's one thing I'm not aware of.
I mean, now I'm going to have to close my Bitcoin tab and find out what you're talking about.
Helen Keller, airline pilot. I'm not familiar with that.
A pilot. Hold on. Helen Keller is a pilot. Did Helen Keller fly a plane? Britannica.com. What this world?
Did she fly a plane?
In June of 1946, an airplane traveled from Rome to Paris, crossing over the Mediterranean Sea. There was nothing unusual about this flight except one thing. For 20 minutes of the plane's journey, one of its passengers became its pilot. The passenger was Dr. Helen Keller, an American author.
Get out of here!
What hasn't she done? I'm on board with the kids now.
Yeah,
Fake.
No wonder.
Fake. Okay. Now, I've flown a plane before. I really have.
So have I.
Right. And so you could correct me if I'm wrong, because all I did was just keep it steady, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And you're just like, okay, now I can say I flew a plane. Now, it started to drop a little bit. It probably dropped 5 feet, felt like 100 feet. And I told my friend Wes, who was a pilot when we were in high school, I was like, Wes, I'm good. I can say I flew a plane. So if it was something like that where she just sat in the cockpit so she could have the experience, I flew a plane.
Yeah, maybe. But for 20 minutes? Yeah, you're not
That's true.
You're not letting a deaf, blind person fly a plane for 20 minutes. Come on.
This is not
I don't care who you are. You're not doing that.
I'm trying to find more details on this thing. Okay. Wait, hold on.
And what is the perfect handwriting thing? I've never seen, I don't know that I've ever seen an example of her handwriting.
I don't know, but now I'm going to Google image Helen Keller handwriting as soon as I can figure out how she earned her wings here. I mean, this is...
That's amazing.
I'm on board with the kids now.
Yeah.
The kids have taught us something.
Quite a life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me tell you about Omega XL. This is something that you're going to love. If you've tried everything to no avail to get rid of pain brought on by inflammation, then you really owe it to yourself to try Omega XL. This could change your life. It's backed by 35 years of clinical research. It attacks inflammation that causes pain. And it has an off switch. It just shuts it down, and then the pain goes away. So if you'd like to get rid of the pain and the stiffness and just the being uncomfortable all the time, please try Omega XL. Tiny little gel caps that are super easy to take, and this omega fatty acid comes from the pristine waters of around New Zealand. It's great stuff. They've been doing it for a really long time. And to get you started, when you order one bottle of Omega XL, they're going to throw in a second bottle for free. OmegaXL.com/Pat. OmegaXL.com/Pat. Or you could call 800-844-4888.
Pat Gray.
All right. I got to say, yeah, Helen Keller's handwriting was pretty good.
Yeah.
For a blind person.
I don't know if you can see this on here. Can you see that handwriting? No, you can't. I'll turn it this way. Hang on.
There you go.
Bear with me. I got a wire here. Let it focus a little bit. Hang on.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
It's very...
Yeah.
Okay, Pat.
Uh-huh.
I can see and I can hear.
All right.
And I've written many things down for you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Compare what you just saw from Helen Keller to what I do.
There's no comparison.
I mean, you could hold up any example over here of my chicken scratch.
Yeah, no
Helen
comparison.
Keller puts me to shame. She can't even see what she's writing.
That's what the kids are saying.
She's not real.
This is starting to make some sense to me now. I thought it was weird to begin with, but as we dissect it,
I'm on board.
It's not all that weird.
I'm on board. Good night. All right, I'm convinced.
We have to hear about the injustices committed at the border against the black community and against women, all of which are covered in lies that sugarcoat the situation. And you wonder why we have trust issues when it comes to the government. According to one of the Gen Z people who is in on the Helen Keller isn't real situation.
Okay.
We don't have to believe in Helen Keller, and it shouldn't be surprising if we don't. The world we were born into makes us profoundly different than other generations, and hopefully it will make us into change agents.
Change agents.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's what they've become. They've become change agents. And it's going to be a lot of things like this. Helen Keller's not real. Meanings of words that have completely changed. We can't use gendered words anymore. They are becoming change agents and insisting on all of this nonsense. So it's a little frightening. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Somebody who can see and hear, but she can't sing very well. Madonna, who is worth a reported $850 million, is a victim who's being crushed under the heavy boots of the patriarchy.
Wait, hold on a second. That makes no sense at all.
It makes me want to weep for her, for the material girl. The pop star tweeted, "The patriarchy continues to try to crush my neck with their heavy boots, cut off my life force, and take away my voice. Even those who call themselves artists, you know who you are. Death to the patriarchy, now and forever."
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, she's really been held down.
Please look at me. Please pay attention to me.
If she were held down so much, would she be worth $850 billion instead of just $850 million?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
My goodness. See that sunset over there, Madonna? Why don't you ride off into it? Because nobody cares.
Nice, wouldn't it? She just continues to try to gain attention.
I mean, at least this wasn't her in a bathtub with rose petals.
Yes, thank you.
That was horrific.
True. Yes.
So we're improving on that.
There is that at least. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is apparently serious about making a Tesla Roadster hover with rocket technology. He does some cool stuff.
Yeah, he does.
First unveiling the vehicle, Tesla claimed a list of impressive specs for its Roadster, including 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. Wow.
Oh, no.
A 620-mile range?
I'm not a car guy.
What?
But that sounds good.
If they have... Is this real? They have a Roadster now that can go 620 miles on a charge?
Is that the same as the one he's trying to build? Or he's saying that one already exists?
Well, they said it has an impressive list of specs, including 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds and the 620 miles of range.
I don't know that they've built it yet, though.
He's also been teasing those specs as the base specs and other versions should have even crazier performance. With so I guess these are things they're shooting for.
Sure, and I don't...
Because if you had a 620-mile range right now, I mean...
That's a game changer.
Yeah, that changes it completely.
But who is John Galt? His name is Elon Musk.
Right? With the recent launch of the Model S Plaid and Plaid Plus, Tesla already had topped the performance first announced in the Roadster, which is a more expensive vehicle.
Wait, it's a Plaid? That's the name of the vehicle? It's a Tesla Plaid?
Plaid.
Okay, I don't want one now.
He said the Tesla will offer a SpaceX package that will include cold air thrusters to give the Roadster even higher performance. In an interview with Joe Rogan, he also said Tesla is really planning on incorporating this technology to make the vehicle hover.
Yeah.
How cool.
Now I'm back on board.
Even if he doesn't get this done, you got to admire his vision.
Yeah, you do.
You really do. The guy's trying hard. He really is trying to get us something to hold on to and get excited about as a nation and get behind. And the space exploration is one way to do that. But doing really cool cars like this is pretty decent too.
And he's also pushing, what is this, Dogecoin? Is that how you pronounce it? Dogecoin? Yeah. Like to be the next Bitcoin. So,
right.
I will follow Elon Musk.
We're going to throw some rocket technology in that car. I want it to hover. We got to figure out how to make it hover without killing people. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's not kill people when we hover. That would be good.
That's a guy I want to talk to, Elon Musk. Anybody knows Elon Musk, give him my number. I need to talk to him at themikeshow.com. Seriously, that guy is fascinating.
Unbelievable.
He is in a time of government regulation and darkness. And yes, I know he's taken money from the government. I mean, period. I know this.
There's a couple of downsides to him.
Sure, there. To everybody.
He's weird.
He's
B.
Eccentric.
B. He's accepting money for, but they offered, so of course he's going to do it. What's he going to say?
I mean, he is smart.
No, I don't want you to pay for $7,000 of every one of my vehicles.
Right. But the stuff that lives in his brain and his story from coming from South Africa and I just he's fascinating and like I said, in this time of darkness, it's nice to have one flicker of hope out there and someone that's still
have a
innovating.
Real visionary.
That's the word. Thank you.
And a guy who seems to be getting more conservative with every passing day. He really does.
Yep.
And seriously, what a game changer. As soon as you can get the electric vehicle to have a range of 620 miles on a charge, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's farther than you'll get on any tank of gas. That will take you from point A to point B and be reasonable. 200 miles, that doesn't even get me to Houston.
Right. I'm not stopping in Huntsville to charge my car.
Right.
But I'm so grateful he moved to Texas. He was big at trying to help out during the storm. Chris Cruz, who works here at the Blaze, he actually has a Tesla solar power thing, right? And so this unit has been storing up. And so when Chris Cruz's neighborhood went down during the power outage, the only person in the neighborhood who had electricity around the clock, nonstop, uninterrupted, was Chris Cruz because of this Tesla solar box. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I probably wouldn't have advertised that, Chris, but since you did on Twitter, I'm telling the world now. But
that's pretty cool.
And Elon Musk is such an innovator that there's this thing called Starlink, which is just internet through satellites.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because it's high-speed internet. It's supposed to be to rural places, but it'll be eventually everywhere. And its startup cost is $500 for this little dish. But it's going to be 8 times faster than the internet that I currently get at my home. I mean, this guy is constantly innovating and thinking outside the box, and I just appreciate that kind of individual in our society.
And even though he believes in global warming, catastrophic global warming, he's actually doing something about it. He's actually putting his money where his mouth is and where his beliefs are by trying to find us a new place to live because he does believe in it.
And he's not annoying us about it. You know, he's not saying, you know what, if you don't, if you pass gas, then you're a terrible person because you're contributing to the problem and everything should be green, Green New Deal, Green New Deal.
No, instead, he's actually building rockets that will get us to Mars. That's pretty on his own dime, mostly.
I appreciate that.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. All right. Also, the Pentagon has admitted that they're testing wreckage from UFO crashes, and their findings may change our lives forever, they say. This is a really weird time. If you are a UFO follower, because never has the government been this open about what's going on with UFOs. Never. They've always denied it. They've always, tried to pass it off as weather balloons and all kinds of nonsense. Now they're just saying, no, yeah, we've got some wreckage. We're testing it from UFO crashes.
Nonchalantly. Okay. Yeah, we've been testing.
Yeah, and we're reverse engineering some of this stuff, and it may completely change our lives. Okay. It includes physical debris recovered by personnel of the Department of Defense as residue, flotsam, shot-off material, or crashed material. In the response shared with the Sun, the Department of the DIA released 154 pages of results that includes reports on a mysterious memory metal called nitinol, which remembers its original shape when folded.
Stop it!
Yeah.
This is like Wakanda stuff.
Yes. Yeah, it really is.
Oh my, let's do this.
Stunning admission from the U.S. government, and the documents reveal that some of the retrieved debris possesses extraordinary capabilities, including the potential to make things invisible or even slow down the speed of light.
All right, is somebody screwing with us at the Defense Department, or is this real?
Oh, no.
Because this is awesome.
That is absolutely incredible. They've been able to learn some things about materials of construction which hold tremendous promise as futuristic materials, which will change our lives forever. How cool is that?
Now that you've heard that, don't forget to vote at Pat Unleashed. Who would you rather have as president, Joe Biden or any random space alien?
Oh, obviously, any
right?
random
I mean,
space
can you
alien.
imagine how protected the White House would be if we had this material around it?
Yes. I mean, that's really incredible. Really, really incredible.
Okay, so random space alien 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, let's start the campaign now.
I like it. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Finish up the week together. Didn't it be Friday already? Can you believe it? All right, we'll see you then. Have a great day.